Tractate Beitzah, page 2, Amud Beis. Beis Amud Beis, or 2b. On the top. However, we're saying with regard to a festival, the Tana taught us an unattributed Mishnah in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, Shabbat 156b, as we learned in the Mishnah in this tractate. One may not chop wood on a festival from beams prepared for use in construction work, nor may one chop kindling wood from a beam that broke on a festival, as the beams were not prepared for this use when the festival began. They are classified as muktzah. This demonstrates that an unattributed Mishnah prohibits muktzah on a festival. Consequently, Rav Nachman establishes the opinion of Beit Hillel in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, who prohibits muktzah. He does so by asserting that the Mishnah is referring to the case of a chicken designated for laying eggs, which is muktzah. This concludes the Mishnah's explanation of Nachman's rendering of the Tannaitic dispute. The Gemara asks, now, in other words, consider the following. Who is the one who wrote and edited the Mishnah and arranged the unattributed Mishnayot? It was Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Since the same sage formulated the statements in both tractates, the question arises, what is different with regard to the halakha of Shabbat, that he stated the unattributed opinion and ruled for us in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Shimon, and what is different with regard to the halachot of a festival, that he stated the unattributed opinion and ruled for us in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda? They answer and say, in the case of Shabbat, which is stringent with regard to its punishments, and therefore people will not come to treat it with contempt, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi taught us the unattributed Mishnah in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Shimon, who rules leniently. Conversely, with regard to a festival, which is lenient, certain labors may be performed in the festival, and therefore people will be more likely to come to treat it with contempt. He stated the unattributed opinion for us in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, who rules stringently. The Gemara asks, in what manner did you ultimately establish the Mishnah? B'mai okimta. In what manner did you ultimately establish the Mishnah? It was established as referring to a chicken designated for laying eggs, and the prohibition is due to muktzah. If so, rather than disputing with regard to an egg laid on a festival, let them dispute with regard to the chicken itself. Instead of considering the secondary detail of an egg, Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel could discuss whether or not the chicken itself may be slaughtered on a festival. The Gemara answers, Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel also disagree with regard to the chicken, but the dispute was phrased in this manner to convey the far-reaching nature of the opinion of Beit Shammai. The formulation of the Mishnah emphasizes the extent of Beit Shammai's lenient opinion, that even in the case of an egg, which is not a regular muktzah item, but an item that came into being, and especially stringent type of muktzah, Beit Shammai nevertheless permit it. By stating the dispute with regard to an egg, the Mishnah stresses Beit Shammai's lenient opinion. And let them disagree with regard to a chicken rather than an egg, to convey the far-reaching nature of the opinion of Beit Hillel, who prohibit its use even in the more lenient case of muktzah. And if you say that it is better to present the dispute as in the Mishnah, so as to clarify the more lenient opinion, as the strength of leniency is preferable. Brachot 60a. Okay? There's another option, and let them disagree with regard to both of these cases. Both of these cases. To a chicken designated for laying eggs, and its eggs, B'Shammai say it may be eaten, and Beit Hillel say it may not be eaten. In this manner, the Mishnah could have referred to all aspects of the dispute without the need for any lengthy addition. Consequently, Rav Nachman's explanation of the Mishnah is inadequate. Rather, Rabbah said, actually, the above explanation should be rejected. We are dealing with a chicken designated for food, and we are dealing with an egg that was laid on a festival that occurs after Shabbat, meaning on a Sunday. And the relevant issue is not the halachot of muktzah. Rather, one may not eat the egg due to the prohibition against preparation from Shabbat to a festival. And in this regard, Rabbah holds that any egg laid now was already fully developed yesterday and merely emerged from the chicken today. Consequently, an egg laid on a festival that occurred on a Sunday may not be eaten. Despite the fact that it was prepared naturally by heaven rather than by men. The Gemara comments in Rabbah, who prohibits one to derive benefit even from something that was not prepared by man, conforms to his standard line of reasoning. And Rabbah said, what is the meaning of that which is written with regard to the Mishnah? And it shall come to pass on the 6th day. It shall come to pass on the 6th day. And they shall prepare that which they bring in. Exodus 16:5. According to Rabbah, it can be inferred that this verse, that on the ordinary weekday, the 6th day, one may prepare what is needed for Shabbat. And similarly, in an ordinary weekday, one may prepare what is needed for a festival. However, on a festival, one may not prepare for Shabbat, and likewise on Shabbat, one may not prepare for a festival. Okay. Amarle Abaye said to him, however, Abaye said to Abaye said to Rabbah. However, see. Amarle Abaye. Abaye said to him, said to Rabbah. However, that is so, and the concern is only due to preparation. Let an egg be laid on a regular festival, one that does not occur on a Sunday, be permitted. Rabbah responded, the egg is not prohibited by Torah law, but by rabbinic decree, due to the case of a festival that occurs after Shabbat. Abaye asked, on the regular Shabbat, that one does not incur a festival, let it be permitted to eat an egg that was laid on that day, provided that one does not cook it. Rabbah similarly answered, it is a degree due to a Shabbat that occurs after a festival. Abaye further asked, and do we issue a decree of this kind? But isn't it taught in Beitzah, C6b? In the case of one who slaughters a chicken on a festival and finds inside it fully developed eggs with their shells, is it permitted to eat them on the festival? And if so, that the aforementioned decree is in effect, let him assure a degree and prohibit these eggs found inside the chicken due to those that are laid on this day. Rabbah said to him, this is not difficult. All as the case of fully developed eggs found inside their mother in an uncommon manner. In a case of uncommon matter, the sages did not issue a decree of as a preventive measure, the sages issued their decrees only by the usual situations in which people might err, but they do not apply them to the rare cases. This concludes the Gemara's discussion of Rabbah's explanation. The Gemara proceeds to explain other interpretation of the Mishnah. Rav Yosef said, an egg laid by a chicken designated for food is prohibited for a different reason. It is a decree due to fruits that fall from a tree, from a tree on Shabbat or a festival may be eaten, and the same applies to eggs that emerge from a chicken. Rabbi said to Rav Yosef, what, with regard to fruits that fall, what in fact is the reason that the sages prohibited them?